of the hour, Coach Steve Van Meter, Hutto ISD Athletic Director and Varsity Football Coach. Coach Van Meter comes to Hutto from Friendswood, Texas, where he served as the school district's athletic director and football coach for 20 years before retiring in 2012. As head coach at Friendswood High School, Van Meter led the football team to 15 trips to the state playoffs and compiled 148 wins. He has more than 30 years of experience in education, said he missed working with athletes and decided to apply for the Hutto position when it became available this spring. Coach Van Meter grew up in Friendswood, Texas. He's been married to his high school sweetheart, Lisa, for 33 years. They have 3 sons and a granddaughter. Superintendent Doug Hillian said, hiring Steve Van Meter is an incredible opportunity for Hutto ISD. He is a legendary coach who will bring wealth of knowledge and experience to our athletic programs. He also has the exceptional character and integrity we strive to model for our students. Ladies and gentlemen, Hutto citizens, welcome.
And before I get started, excuse my voice, I've got, what do you call it, corn allergies or something that I'm used to. But I'd like to add to that, on Monday was a great day for myself. I not only got back in the arena, which I love, starting football practice on Monday, but my second grandbaby was born on Monday, a little grandson, 7 pounds, 10 ounces. Monday was a great day. I tell you what, you know, the thing about being in a place for a long time, you start taking it for granted, don't you? But I'm going to tell you, Hutto is a great place. And you'll learn that I don't patronize. I'm going to pretty much be straight with you, and I'm going to tell you, you know, Hutto's a great place. And what we have in this community is special. And I think the people that I'm listening to, and by the way, this is a great arena to learn excuse me, about what's going on in Hutto. I mean, just in my 15, 20-minute setting here, listening to the various speakers up here, I'll learn things about Hutto. You know, one of the things maybe is in getting something like this for new residents that move into Hutto. I think it's a great thing to get yourself established and learn about the various aspects of Hutto. You know, I retired February 2012 at the age of 56. I knew I wasn't ready to get out of the arena that I call it. Thank you very much. I'm not sure that's going to help, but I appreciate it. And, excuse me. So, but you got to remember, I have been at Friendswood for 30 years. I've been the head football coach for 21. By the way, my record's 149. It should be 151, but I had a kicker that missed 2 overtimes that cost me. I'm not going to mention his names, but they were chip shots. I mean, I couldn't. So, you know, but I wanted to do something different. Now, I couldn't go into my community and say, you know, I want to do something different, because some smart aleck back there would have said, hey, how about winning the state championship? That'd be different. So, but I knew that I didn't want to give up this great profession without another challenge, without doing something different. And so, you know, when I reached that retirement age, I thought, well, this is, you know, this is my chance to do that. I opened a quarterback academy called Gulf Coast Quarterback Academy in the Greater Houston area, and had a great time. Was very successful. I was training between 45 and 55 quarterbacks. Kept very busy. Plenty of time, though, for me to play golf every day. But and I enjoyed it. But it just, you know, my wife kept, you know, I'd come home and she'd go, "How was it?" "No, it's good. I had a good time." She goes, "Not enough, is it?" That's enough. It's not enough. So it's funny how when this position opened up, I knew very little about Hutto, and I knew very little about what was going on in the Hutto athletics, and I really didn't care, to be quite honest about it. And then when I applied, just kind of overwhelmed one night, and I forgot about it. About 3 weeks later, I got a phone call from Dr. Q and asked me if I would like to interview for the I said, you bet. And so this was like on Wednesday or Thursday, and I said, when? He said, how about tomorrow? I said, and he kind of, I guess his secretary kind of laughed. And anyway, so, Lisa and I prepared for the interview and came up here, and we drove in the back way through 1660, and, it was just a beautiful drive, and getting to Hutto, and I enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed meeting the people there. I got out of the, am I boring your father? Am I boring you? I know you have to go get mass.
I wish I could stay. I'll have meet with you later.
So, anyway, I came out of the interview. She goes, how's it good? How'd it go? I said, well, it went okay. And so she goes, I found the house. I said, what? Oh, it's a great house. We got to go look at it. And so I knew right then Lisa was on board with the move, which made it easier for me if I was offered the job. And so we looked at the house, went to the Texas Cafe, had some pie and coffee, and everything just kind of fell into place. I'm here for a reason. I believe the good Lord had a plan, and excuse me. I think he had a plan for Lisa and I to be here. And I'm here also, I think, because of the vision that I felt from Dr. Killian and Brandy Baker, our principal. And I think that's a very important part of my role as the athletic director and a head football coach. And the role with the superintendent is that our vision is very similar. And that really intrigues me after spending time with Dr. Killian and really everybody in his administrative support group, the vision that they had. And that vision is to be successful, to be competitive in every program that Hutto puts out there. The education process, the co-curricular, obviously the extracurricular things, I think is very important. I think having a philosophy as a coach and being in one place at 30 years, I think you forget what maybe your philosophy is. And so in having to talk in groups, sometimes you kind of have to sit down and say, what do you believe in as a coach and as an athletic director and as someone who is involved with young men and women on a daily basis. And the thing that I feel like is the number one thing for me in my philosophy is trust. And if the kids do not trust you, you have no chance in a program, in a community, and especially in a community like Hutto, where it's so tight-knit, and everybody knows everybody, and everybody's excited. I mean, there's such great excitement and atmosphere about the start of this football season. I'm so excited about that. Trust between the superintendent and the athletic director. Trust between your building principal. That's huge. You have to have that. And once you get that, once you get the trust with the athletes and the coaches, and then you start getting that trust with the parents. Because let me tell you folks, winning is not something that just happens while we do on that football field or what happened on that volleyball court or the basketball court. Winning in a community happens with everybody involved. From your teachers, your faculty that gets involved with the kids and excited about the kids. And it's there for the kids. And that's not always the case. I'm going to tell you that's not always the case. You have a faculty of 70 or 80 people. That's not a common thing in Texas high school education process. But the people I've met here in Hutto and the faculty have been just awesome. They've been outstanding. They've been welcoming. I can tell that they're here for the right reasons. That excites me. When you get the parents behind you, I told the parents the other night in a parent meeting, I said, here's how you ruin a football program or any program. Is that when you're sitting around that dinner table and there's conversation, negative conversation about that coach. Oh, that coach is an idiot. Oh, that coach, he's playing somebody else. And then is it you as a parent unit and you buying into that and you allow that? Okay, that's the quickest way to start deteriorating a program. And so that was my challenge to those parents. How are you going to act when that comes? Because it's going to happen. Okay? And I also tell them this about communication. Okay? Communication is, you have to have that between parents and that coaching staff. I tell them my door is always open. I don't mind talking about playing time. There's some coaches that's off the table. I don't mind. Mario wants to come talk to me about his son's playing time. I'm going to, come on, let's talk. But I'm going to tell him, now you got to be prepared for what I'm going to say. And when we finish the conversation, we're going to shake hands. You may not agree with me, but it's going to be the truth as I see it. And you know, somebody has to make the call in this situation. And so that's been my policy for my whole career. And I had people, parents come in, and they talk. I make them bring me coffee, something like that. And you know, one of the first things I ask them, I said, before we get started, Donna, have I mistreated, is your son being mistreated or your daughter being mistreated? And that's how I want to start it, because I want to know that. If they feel that I'm, because I've lost trust then, I want to know that. And if that's the case, okay, then I look inside and let's fix it. Let's get into that. Tell me why. Because guess what? Every conversation that they want to have, whether it's about playing time or not, it's about playing time. Because as a parent, they're looking for answers. They come home, I'm not getting to play much, and the kids hurting. I understand, I've got a parent. I had 3 sons, and I understand all that. And so trying to help parents, help kids, help their own, you know, I think is part of my role as a head coach and athletic director. You know, the thing too, I believe, is in being a successful program is surrounding yourself with like individuals. And I think I've been so fortunate in this staff that I've hired around me. And I'm going to talk about my football staff and the other coaches that I have hired a little bit. Hiring people that have like, you know, personalities, okay, like interest. And the number one thing, are they competitive? Okay? As you'll probably find out maybe today and as you get to know me, I'm probably competitive to a fault. And I think that's what one of my keys that I bring to a program. And so surrounding myself and in doing interviewing, I knew some coaches that I wanted because I had dealt with them. I was able to hire 2 former head coaches in Texas high school football that had come on staff with me. One of them has 30 plus years of experience. He was the head coach at Brazosport, very strong football program, especially in the 90s and early 2000s when he was there. We went head to head in numerous districts, and then when he moved out of the district, we played twice in the Astrodome against each other. I think we played maybe a total of 4 times in playoffs at various times. I will tell him, and I tell him this all the time, I'm 3-1 against him. And, but you know, a guy who brings a wealth of knowledge to the program. He's been in my seat. I like that. He understands some of the things that a head coach has to do with. I hired another younger head coach who's outstanding, has a personality that will light this room. His name is Brett Sawyer. He was a former head coach at Sweeney. He was a defensive coordinator at Richardson and Berkner in Dallas. And at the time, they led the Dallas area in defense. There were 7 years. They were leading defense 6 of the 7 years. So I brought them. I brought a former Frenchwood Mustang, outstanding linebacker, all-state player with me. That I coach. That's there with me. And then you know the staff that was there, the ones who stayed, just awesome. I mean, just unbelievable men of integrity, Christian men, competitive, great work ethic. I mean, I've just been blessed. I mean, it's like I told Dr. Killian last night, we were talking on the phone about some things, and I mentioned another thing. I said, let me tell you something. Well, you may not know this, and he does, after I told him that. I said, this is the best junior high staff in the state of Texas. Again, remember, I don't patronize. I'll call a spade. But I have 2 coordinators, one here at Hutto and the other one at Farley. Coach Boatwright and Coach Rucker over at Farley. Both of them were former defensive coordinators, have been coaching at the high level. And then the coaches that they've hired below are just awesome. I mean, they take our freshmen, and right now they're working with our freshmen. All of them are out there, and they're coaching our freshmen. We're coaching the upper varsity kids and varsity JV. Not only do they coach there, when they finish, they don't have to. They come out on our field. Their hands aren't in their pocket watching. They're engaged. If something needs to be done, they're doing it. I don't have to tell them. I mean, I'm telling you, like I told them, I have no excuses. Okay, I have no excuses. We have great kids. I'll make a deal with you. How many wins before we get a new press box? Let's put it on. The other thing about the people I hire, I think, being competitive, having great compassion. Compassion for what you do, compassion for kids. You know, a servant's heart. You know, I think that's important. I think as a teacher, all teachers have a servant's heart. You know, you don't get in that profession, you know, to be a wealthy individual. I find really quick, you can find really quick when a coach or a teacher, in my case it's coaches, is in this business for the right reason. And those coaches that have a servant's heart, I mean, golly, I've got a staff full of them. I mean, it's just incredible what these people have done. It's kind of all inspiring for me. And then a work ethic. You know, I think that's incredible too. You have to have that work ethic that you're ready to get up every day. You're ready to, you know, to make it a great day, and have that kind of attitude that I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to do my job the best I can do. And you know what? After you have people like that, you have, like I said, you have no excuses, and you look forward for great things. You know, vision starts becoming a reality. If it doesn't, it's just a vision. Just like what y'all been talking about, what the vision for Hutto is. If you don't act on it like you're doing, it's still a vision. Okay, and that's that's something I see a lot of places. Or we have these great goals. We can put all this on a PowerPoint, and this is what we do. Well, how do you implement that? You know, and I'll just relay a story at my previous stop. And you got to remember, I graduated from Frenchwood High School. You know, some of the people that were my superintendent and principals were actually there when I was a player and a student. More of a player than a student, I'll admit. And but we had the same mentality. We had the same small town atmosphere, and then we hit the same grocery. NASA came on, and people started moving into Frenchwood, and we grew. We grew probably not as fast. Well, not as fast as Hutto's grown, but we grew. And don't get me wrong, the people that were in Dr. Killian's position, the superintendent, is still a great friend of mine. He's an awesome man. But, you know, I believe sometimes he had the vision. You know, I'd go to him and I'd say, his name was Walt. I'd say, Walt, I said, we got to do our pay. We're way behind in our pay for these coaches. We got to get better. Oh man, he says, nobody's going to leave Frenchwood. This is just a good spot. It's going to be okay. You know, and then we got a new superintendent. And I was so excited about having, trust me, I still love all of them to death. But we got a new superintendent, and to have her come to me almost the first day, and this is a female, okay? She wasn't an athlete. She was a special I think she ran the special education, you know, she was really involved in that. And she came to me and she says, how do we become great in everything? And I could say, wow, man. Really? This is coming from you? And I said, you really want to know? And she said, absolutely. I want to win state championship and everything. And so, man, we spent a whole day. We spent a whole day on this. I said, man, I can't believe this has happened. And I went through my files, and I said, here we go. And I said, this is what we need to do. And we're going to start right here at the junior high. I need this. I need that. We need this. We need that. And guess what? She started making it happen. And when she came on board, I mean, we were successful. successful before, but when she came on board, we went through about an 8-year period where we made long runs. In football, we won a volleyball state championship. We won a soccer state championship, a girls soccer state championship. We went to the finals, or excuse me, the semifinals here at the Dell Diamond in baseball for 2 years. And my point being is that it was a vision that was acted on. That was my point. It was a vision that was acted on. And at some point, you know, you have to have somebody that's not afraid to stand up and say, we're going to be great at everything. We're not going to slight academics. Friendswood has, you know, has won the academic, what's the word I'm looking for? UIL academic championships. Yeah, they win it every other year. So that wasn't the issue. But to have an emphasis on athletics in that community, that took vision, that took boldness. And you know, I'm sitting here with Dr. Killian throwing this at him. He knows what I'm talking about. He's got that vision. He's got that boldness, and we're gonna do great things here. No excuses. Yeah, I'm a no excuse guy. My wife will tell you the first thing about that. You know, she has a good way of doing excuses now, but it's not like it's not excuses. And it confuses me. And I go, excuses? No, I'm just, you know, no excuses. I don't care that Georgetown has 2,100 people and maybe 5 from being 5A, and Hutto is maybe, you know, 15 from being 3A. That's an excuse. That's an acceptance of mediocrity. I don't buy it. That's not my philosophy. Okay? I don't care if it's a tough district. Georgetown gets beat in the state finals. Maynard gets beat in the semifinals. Elgin gets beat in the quarterfinals, or whatever it was, a big run. Pflugerville goes 3 rounds. I've watched video. We should have beat Elgin. We gave the game away. Okay? We gave it to them. Which, you know, that happens. Better not happen on my watch. Okay? So we have no excuses. We got there's great athletes on that football field right now that's working. By the way, I got to hurry because I want to make the second session of practice. My sophomore class at juniors loaded with athletes. I've got great senior leadership. We've got young freshmen coming up that are talented. And they're coached well, and they're eager to learn. You can't get the freshmen away. You know, you can't get them out of there. We're gonna build an extension on the field house, okay? And we're gonna have, you don't know this yet, do you yet? We're gonna build an extension on the field house about 3 times as big as this room with couches and video games. Why don't you just keep them there? We have the facilities we have at Hutto are outstanding. They're awesome. Okay, coming from a place where everybody associates Friendswood with money, our facilities are better. Okay, and so again, I'm telling you, there's no excuses, and not just in football. There's no excuses in everything. I came into a situation that I looked at a Dalton boys basketball program, and I shook my head. I said, unbelievable. The 4A program. I'm not going to go into the details, but we strengthened that program. That's the first thing I did. We're going to get that program as strong as we possibly can. Okay? I was fortunate enough to have a volleyball coach fall in my lap that we just recently hired. Outstanding. J.J. Pierce, Dallas Morning News Volleyball Coach of the Year twice. Okay? Been to the state tournament twice. Okay? Great. She happens to be the wife of my defensive coordinator, which I didn't even know at the time. And we got to the point where we were going to look for a volleyball coach, and it was like, thank you, good Lord, that's just a blessing. So the program that we've inherited, and you know, one of my I believe charges, I think Dr. Killian would tell you this, is that we're one program now. We're one athletic program. We're not a boys program, we're not a girls program, we're together. And when you do that, and when you start buying into that, and when football coaches start going to volleyball games, and when volleyball, you know, coaches and volleyball kids start supporting one another, and when, you know, basketball, when you have a a soccer player that's also a great track athlete. You make it happen for that kid. The one thing I will not tolerate is a coach that's going to discourage a kid from playing another sport. I won 21 letters, and of course, back in those days, if you could walk, you could probably win 21 letters. I won 21 letters in high school. I played almost every sport you could play. Okay, and I still want that mentality here. I don't care if we get to 2,500 kids. That's the mentality I want. Because why in the world would you want to pigeonhole a kid that can help another program? This is high school athletics. Let's let them compete. Let's go watch them compete, and let's celebrate them competing. And then encourage them. There's a fine line between being neutral and not encouraging. And like I told my coaching staff August 1st, I said, don't ever be on that line. Well, I'm not discouraging him or her. I'm not. Are you encouraging? Are you actually pushing them over there? No, you need to go play. No, you're going to go play. I told the athletes, some of my athletes, and my starting quarterback's named Brandon Douglas, great athlete, great kid, great leader. I told Brandon the other day, I said, there's no reason we don't win a state championship in the mile relay. He goes, I don't do that. I said, oh, yes, you do. And yes, you will. You're going to run on that mile relay, and we're going to win a state championship. Because I've got you, this other kid, and we're going to do it. I mean, that's how good they can be. They just don't know it yet, and they're going to find that out. And so that's my philosophy. And, as an athletic directorship, I guess, is that let's get those kids, let's get that great volleyball player, and let's get her be in that post. Okay, that 5'11", that 6-foot volleyball player, that straight volleyball that doesn't play basketball. Let's get her to be that post. Okay, let's get that, that great softball player that maybe he'd help in soccer, has a great soccer background. I've had all kinds of combinations where I was before. It's work with the coaches because if let's say you're a track something else, that track coach has to be there maybe at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 to give that girl a workout. So, and it takes dedication from that athlete. If they want to be two sport athletes at the same time, then they have to find time, and it's usually before school or late after school. So it's a commitment from everybody, and I think that is how we build to be the program that we want to build here at Hutto. High energy, a great atmosphere that I think we've created in our football program. Our coach's office is awesome. It's awesome. They all get along together. There's a lot of stuff, which to be quite honest about it, I miss that tremendously in my year of retirement. I miss that locker room atmosphere. And if some of you that are ex-athletes, you know what I'm talking about. It's that camaraderie that you have on a daily basis. So it's just excited about that. Briefly about the team. I'm not going to talk briefly. I'll just talk as long as I want to. Briefly about the team, though, I'm very excited about this upcoming season. You're going to see a different style of football. Football is football. The bottom line is what in the score, what the score, the higher score on the left than the right if you're at home. That's the bottom line. I have a philosophy that's I started in, I guess 1990 was the first year I went to the spread offense, and that was when spread offenses were not in vogue. I became good friends with a coach at the University of Houston, and some of you may remember this. His name was Ron Calcagney. Ron Calcagney was a starting quarterback at Arkansas. They won 2 Orange Bowls when he was there, and he lived fairly close to me. We became friends. They were running the old run and shoot back in those days, which enticed me. We played in a district, I guess that you would probably say our athleticism, I'd put it this way, our athleticism at Friendswood could not match the athleticism of the people we were playing. So we were having a tough time running the football, running the veer offense. We run the veer offense. Give the football to the halfback, quarterback would pull it, he'd either run it or he'd pitch it. Well, the teams found out really quick, make them pitch the football, and they ran us down for a 2-yard gain. Okay, so we went to, I went to various places other than spending time with the University of Houston. I went to other places and really immersed myself in the spread offense. By no means am I a guru in the spread offense, but I believe in it, and I believe it's my philosophy is to put the best athlete you have, put him in space, and let him do his thing. And so that's kind of what we try to do. We try to run at a very fast tempo, as fast as we can go. We try to practice that way. We try to run our defense that way. We have very few times that that coaches aren't yelling faster, faster, faster. If it's a drill, if it's anything. So we want to try to create that atmosphere. When we go on Friday nights, it's everything you can slow it down because they're used to even going faster than what the officials will let you go. Basically, I want to snap that ball within 6 to 8 seconds when that umpire puts it down and try to run it. Now, is that always going to equate to points? Maybe not. But we may go 3 and out, and the next play is 65 yards to Davion Davis, who's, by the way, going to be a great player, or Darrell Harrison, or Brandon maybe breaking something. So it's, I really feel like it's going to be an exciting brand of football. When I first started this at Friendswood, in our first few years, it's very difficult once you try to establish it. I would go into H-E-B or the grocery store on a Sunday, I'd run this, Coach, great game, that was awesome. And I went, we got beat 25-18. I know, but man, that ball was all over the air. It was so much fun. And so, we do. I believe the kids have really bought into what we're doing. I believe they're enjoying it. I think it's fun. I welcome you to come to practice. Come out and see what it's about. And I think I'm ADD, to be quite honest about it. I need stimulation. And we have music going. Our segments, we go in 5-minute segments. We have constant music, and you can imagine it's probably not what you and I would probably want to listen to, Tom, but it's still pretty good. Once you kind of get into it, We have segments, and then we'll have a warning. The voice will come over that music. We'll say 30 seconds to period 3. 30 seconds, period 3. So, we know where we're supposed to be in period 3. Okay? And so that's how we schedule our practice. That's how a lot of colleges are practicing now. It breaks up the monotony for practice. What I've noticed is no distraction from the kids. Actually, it keeps the kids, uplifted. I know my student trainers out there love it. Maybe I'll come to me and say, "Oh, this is awesome! But you get to listen to music and hand out water." So I hope that I've given you some insight to what I'm about, what my vision for the athletic program is going to be. I want to say this. I want to give credit to Coach Hale and his former staff. And I really mean this because I came into a program that I was so impressed with the discipline of the kids and the work ethic of the kids. Now that happened for a reason, okay? Steve and his staff did a great job, so I was very fortunate to step into that situation. I think I told Dr. Killian, I was there from, I think, May 5th, maybe my first day. I have yet to hear a foul word come out of a kid's mouth, or a coach's mouth, other than maybe me, but yet, I have yet to hear that. Now, that's pretty rare, okay? That's pretty rare. And that happens for a reason, right? Hey, those kids were taught that. That's not acceptable out here. It's not acceptable in that weight room. It's not acceptable on that field. And to watch how kids treat one another in that program, I was very impressed. So I feel blessed that was something in the program that I didn't have to spend a ton of time on. It was there. Now, all we have to do is, like I told my coaching staff, all we have to do is just make sure we keep reinforcing that, and we don't allow that. And so, let's just give credit where credit is due. with Steve and his staff. I thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak with you. I enjoyed the whole morning really with the program. I'm excited, and I wish my wife was here. I really want Lisa. She really wants to be a part of the Hutto community and part of the athletic department and those things. Obviously, she's with the grandbaby and spending time. That's in Naples, Florida, by the way. That's where my son lives. So it's kind of a long distance deal, which your grandmothers can probably relate to that. She has a hard time with that. But she's a wonderful coach's wife. She's a wonderful person, not just a coach's wife. And I hope that all you get to know her. And again, thank you for the welcome at Hutto, and I've enjoyed today. Thank you.
All right. Any questions for Coach before he leaves? I know he's got to get over there pretty quickly, but any questions for him?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll give you an opportunity.
We'll keep you say that. Because to be honest, I'm better when you ask me questions and get up there and do a canned presentation. So I should have opened with that. So if you don't ask me a question, I'm going to feel offended. Somebody come up with a question. Real quick.
One question. I think the spread offense is where all the middle schools have moved to recently. One of the problems though is when you get down inside the 10-yard line, do you have a power game? You're going to translate that?
That's good. So that's kind of questions I like. When we get down inside that 5-yard line, I may be in the spread, but more than likely I'll be in what we call power eye, the old-fashioned power eye. And if you guys may know Rolando, Kevin Cullen Rowe, he was the nose guard, 5'8", 265 pounds. Bench press is 365. This is legit now. I'm not making this up. The bench press is 365. He squatted 600 and made him quit. He could have gone more. Okay, and he runs 4.940. Now I'm not real smart, but I know if I have a yard to go, I can take it and give it to that big boy, and he can get into his zone. So yes, we will be in a power offense, maybe in the middle of the field. Oh, by the way, if you're offended by somebody that may not punt on 4th down, come talk to me. Maybe I can win you over, because I don't like to give the football up. If I feel like I can gain 2 yards, I don't care where I'm at, or 3 yards, 4 may be stretching it, and we're gonna, the rules gives us 4 downs to make it 1st down, don't they? They don't give us just 3. It's not Canada. It's not Canadian football leagues. I'm gonna use that 4th down sometimes. Okay? So don't be booing me in the stands. I told my wife, she's feisty. She'll get up there and calm down. She'll invite you.
Any other questions? All right, one.
No question, but a comment. Hutto Rotary is having their Wounded Warrior Veterans Day tournament at Star Ranch. Get more people to sign up. Maybe we can help you with that scoreboard.
Chris Box.
Yeah, is that scoreboard worth a win in the playoffs?
As a follow-up with Coach, the support of our Hutto citizens, Ed Ramos, please come up here and let's do a little pitch on season tickets for the football team and all that kind of good stuff. Thank you, Coach.
We still have reserve season tickets available, so if anyone's interested, come on down. We have a form you can fill out, and then you can pick the tickets up at administration. So if anyone's interested, we have the tickets. It's going to be a great season. Just listening to Coach gets me excited, so come on down and get the tickets if you are interested.
One thing I wanted to mention, I was trying to get the information on our Assistant Superintendent, Ed Ramos. He got recognized or an award, or
He got, I guess, nominated to be a director at TASB on their risk management board. That's a statewide organization. So,
all right. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. That's pretty much it. Thank you for coming to our breakfast, and of course, next month we'll have another one. And congratulations to our new coach. We're excited about this.